Not a day goes by without someone sending me a message or commenting or sending me a link somehow to sign one of these government petitions to abolish the BBC TV licence. And I've never signed one because I don't see the point. And then that always ends up in an argument. But this is why the petitions won't work, and this is why the government will never ever abolish the TV licence. So this was one of the bigger ones that got through. As you can see, this petition on the official government website got nearly 126,000 signatures on it for people who want the TV licence abolished. And if you get over 100,000 signatures, your petition may be debated in Parliament. There's no guarantee of it, but this one was. This one was debated in Parliament on the 20th of November 2017. So November 2017 was a fair while ago. I mean, it's June 2018 now, so why have we still got the TV licence, you might ask yourself, if it's all been sorted out in Parliament? Well, this petition happened to get quite a lot of momentum with the TV licence YouTubers like myself, and in the forums, and just with the general public. They really got behind it, and that's why it got this many signatures. That's why it got debated in Parliament. This is a video a fellow YouTuber made, and he's very well respected in the TV licence community.
Now, this evening's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm asking people for their support with an online petition that's been running now for about just over a month.
So with all that momentum and 126,000 signatures, the government were pretty much forced to debate this one. So they did in a little back room. And here's a few highlights of the crap they talked for hours in government.
It is the case, Mrs. Moon, that a number of people who have signed these petitions or who have emailed me are still concerned that they have to pay the licence fee. Their argument is that in an age when subscription services and streaming services are the norm, they do not see why they should have to pay for another service, and they also think that the licence fee is too high. However, they make the point, and it is a fair one, that the licence fee is a regressive tax, and that cannot be got away from. The recent Ipsos Mori poll this year showed that 49% of people are in favour of funding the BBC through the licence fee. In fact, other polls show that support for the licence fee has actually risen over time. But there is another important point about the licence fee, I think, and that is that it helps preserve BBC independence. It protects it, most of the time at least, from political interference. And even in a time when trust in institutions is declining, it is still the most trusted news provider. When I'm watching BBC News, they are trying to get to the truth, however imperfectly.
So they're giving you the normal reasons as to why they're not going to abolish it, the value, what it does for the country and things like that, which is nonsense. Here's Douglas Carswell's take on it.
What I think people resent is when it comes to broadcasters interpreting events and pretending that somehow they're being objective. They're simply not being objective. I'm trying to think of a single programme produced by the BBC since June the 23rd that has been favourable to Brexit. I can't think of a single one. I think what's going to happen is it's not going to be Parliament that decides. I think we're going to start seeing, and I'm not saying I support it, but it's going to happen. We're going to see an organised boycott of the licence fee. We're already starting to see some people just not paying because they don't think they use those services.
So as you see, Carswell thinks that a BBC are biased. But why are the BBC biased? Surely they're an independent broadcaster, aren't they? Well, here's what I found on it. So I was watching a documentary. I don't want to get into conspiracy theories and stuff like that, but I was watching a documentary you may have seen on YouTube here. It's 7/7 Ripple Effect by Moab Deep. But there was one point in there which really sort of struck home with me. He had clips of a BBC Panorama show where they were working with a fake terror attack. And here's what was said there, and it's very, very interesting when you regard the TV licence to it.
on the 16th of May 2004, an edition of the BBC One Panorama programme broadcasted a mock exercise imagining what would happen if a terrorist attack was executed in London. The following excerpt from the BBC programme gives us a good idea of why this programme was made.
I think, therefore, we need to look at more serious measures. We do have reserve powers, in effect, to take over the BBC if we were to wish to, and to get them to broadcast whatever we wanted them to broadcast. Those powers are there in the Broadcasting Act.
We shouldn't be using the powers to bring in the BBC, but we should certainly be talking to the broadcasters about the way in which the coverage is going to be organised.
Please note well that he said the coverage is going to be organised. In other words, he was saying that they would write the script for and then edit and control the media coverage of an event.
Crazy, isn't it? So this is why the government protect the BBC, because the BBC, in their charter, have to broadcast whatever the BBC tell them to broadcast, so they can be biased about anything, biased about any MP, biased about any law, biased about Brexit. They can do anything they want. The government can make the BBC broadcast anything they want. It's in the charter. And that's why you'll never get rid of the licence fee, because that's their big cash cow. I mean, look at some of the salaries the top BBC executives and the top BBC talent get. It's fucking insane. And recently, what was it? They were shown to be paying to offshore bank accounts and things like that. So we weren't learning what the true salaries of these people were, because they were paying companies. It's insane. The BBC is dirty and corrupt and government controlled. And that's why I'll never pay a TV licence. Please just take a second to hit the like button for this video and hit on subscribe, because it really helps small YouTubers like me when you do that. And share this video, share it on Facebook, share it on your Twitter, whichever, is your favourite. Share it there. Thanks.